am Lutheran by origin, and I'm now a practicing Buddhist. And so my question is based on my Lutheran upbringing and understanding of Lutheran theology, which I was interested in as a student back 15 more years ago in Munich, and through my practice of Buddhist meditation and my understanding of Buddhism. I won't go into any of that, but your lecture was wonderfully clear, and to me exemplifies the similarity between how you understand theology and how I understand the Buddha's teachings. And I know that a lot of Dalits in India have flocked to Buddhism as a way out of the caste system. So I won't expand on that because you probably know what I mean. But a lot of the aspects which you talk about are the same in, sorry, could you not hear me? Are the same in Buddhism. So that is yes. Could you expand on that? How does your understanding of Lutheranism vary from the Buddhist understanding of gaining liberation through wisdom and compassion?
Thank you very much. As you have already said, in India there was a huge mass conversion in 1956 when Dr. Ambedkar, the reformer for Dalit movement, picked on to choose a religion, and in his choosing he has chosen Buddhism, and he said it is less evil than compared to other things because they don't practice caste as much as like the others. But having said, I am not myself an expert on Buddhism, but as you said, probably Luther would say compassion is a gift of God. Luther would say love is a gift of God. And meditation is a huge word for Luther as well, because he spent most time meditating on the scripture. And for him, through the revelation, it was revealing that he was justified, and it was a movement towards liberation. So there are quite a number of scholars attempting in trying to see the multiple religious belonging, of which you are an example, where you said you were born Lutheran but now practicing Buddhist. You also have this multiple religious belonging because you have fragments of truths available in all forms of the human constructs of religion, which I am glad you could bring in. But for me, Jesus continues to be an inspiration, the grounding out of which I want to see liberation and justice for me and for my family. Thank you.
I'm going from a secular point of view. I understand that Luther strongly opposed the demands of the peasants in India, in Germany, when they rose up in the Germans called the Bauernkrieg, and he strongly supported the suppression of the demands of the peasants for equitable distribution of land, etc., etc. Now, in India, I assume the Dalits are prevented from owning land, and that must be let's say, a very divisive issue. And I was just wondering whether Lutheran public theology has anything to say on the issue of land ownership.
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting observation. As you said, Luther would like to call himself that he is a weak, inconsistent rubbish, by which he wants to say that he is not perfect in all itself. And there are certain things which I myself don't agree with Luther, like his joining with the princes against the peasants, his calling the other religions with some other derogatory words and things like that. But having said that, your point of land ownership and Lutheran public theology would be a key thing, because we believe land is given by God as a natural resource, but unfortunately it is commodified. So from Lutheran perspective, any commodification is not acceptable. So therefore, probably reading 500 years after Luther, I would want to see that creation is not for sale, as much as salvation is not for sale. So therefore, I think there is a huge inroads that the Lutheran theology can make into the understanding of land and eco-theology and we are accountable to God and to the creation for which we have been created. Thank you very much. I think that's a very interesting observation.
I think we're lost for words.
Yeah. I'm doing all the speaking.
Can I ask a question? Do you meet any resistance to your ideas, either from other Dalits or from other groups in your community? Which vicinity do you come from?
Which city?
City in your
I come from a state called Andhra Pradesh, a town called Bhima.
Do you meet any resistance from, say, other Dalits or from other communities?
You mean the general Dalit movement?
Yes, and
Yes.
other communities.
I need to tell that Dalits are not a homogeneous community. Because within the Indian caste system, if you want to know the complexity of caste, it is too complex. Because there are too many castes, too many divisions. Within a caste, there are subcastes. So it's too complex an idea to understand. However, as I said, among the Dalits, there is so much disunity which we need to agree with. There is so much which I feel, as a Dalit theologian, I think it is the ploy of the upper caste to divide and rule. It is very colonial to divide and rule. As long as we fight among each other, we forget the greater evil which is the caste. So, which is a ploy, and I think we need to rectify. I don't want to justify it, but it is a confession that we need to work together, united, so that the greater evil is addressed, which is the caste system.
And you started by talking about justification by faith, and that because we were justified, therefore we could do good works. And then you moved on to the model of the hospitality of love, which is about finding Christ on the margins. And it seems as if, I don't know if that bears any relation to then to liturgy or to...
Thank you again, because liturgy is another dear subject to me, because as you would know, the root word of liturgy is the public word. Liturgy unfortunately has churchized. It has become limited to only to the church worships. But liturgy in its original root sense is a public act, the work of the public, which is done for the public good. Therefore, as much as justification by faith is liturgical, hospitality by love is even more liturgical, because it is not just limited to the four walls of the church. It goes beyond the church to locate God outside of the church, which I think is revolutionary, which I think is the mandate of the Reformation to be revolutionary. And therefore, I would see justification by faith and hospitality by love as liturgical as they can be. And I would also glad to see that it is extra liturgical, that we find it outside of the church, for which we are called to see that we address people, the needs of people outside of the church.
You preach a social theology, which we all espouse to, and you talk about making sure that people on the margins are included amongst this. This was something which Mother Teresa undertook in the Catholic tradition. Do you see any difference between the way in which Lutherans look at it and the way in which she undertook this task which was given to her?
I have my own, we thank God for persons like Saint Mother Teresa, because for all that she has done, it was the acts of charity, the acts of compassion which she addressed the needs, for which we are grateful to God. And she has chosen a different path, for which, as I said, it was charity, compassion, and looking Christ among the sick and the homeless was her method of understanding the gospel for our own times, in which I am sure several Dalits would have been benefited out of it. So I don't see Mother Teresa to contradict any of Dalit theology. But I would like to say that Dalit theology extends from charity to a justice mode. The mode of charity, compassion, to affirm in the rights, in the human rights of the people that come here. So I don't see any contradiction. I only see them as supplementing and complementing one another. Thank you.
Just before we move to the next question, whilst I've got a captive audience, can I just mention date for your diaries, 21st of February in Williamson Square, starting at 12 noon. The 500th anniversary of Luther's thesis mobile exhibition, which is travelling around Europe and will eventually get to Wittenberg in October, strange enough, is coming to Liverpool. And Liverpool's one of only two places in the country, in the UK, that it's coming to. And it will be opened by the Lord Lieutenant of Liverpool in Williamson Square at 12 o'clock on the 21st of February. And I got a sneak preview of it in Cologne in July, and it's wonderful. And what I think, as Catholics, you should know, is that the theme of the 500th anniversary is actually reform and reconciliation. And I think that's really very important. And there's a massive conference happening at the end of August in Wittenberg, of which not one but 3 cardinals, including Cardinal Walter Gasper, will be the guest speakers. So 21st of February. Yes, if anybody wants any information, email the Justice and Peace Commission and we can send you the poster and everything. Thank you.
Could you just say which square again?
Williamson Square.
May I just clarify, the Dean, is that just happening at 12 o'clock and then finishing or something?
It's open. That's the opening. There's the first day. It's actually with us for a couple of days.
So
At 5:30 in the Anglican Cathedral, there's going to be a service of Lutheran Vespers, Sun Lutheran Vespers.
okay, so there's going to be something in Williams Square for a couple of days.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. More details from you.
Yes.
We'll send the information around.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you. You started off by saying why you had written your thesis, and you said something about proving that people of lower caste have intellectual ability. Can I assure you you've done that? But I wanted, in a wider context, I wanted to ask you, who do you expect to read your thesis, and what effect would you hope it would have? And at the back of my mind, it is the notion that here, in this audience, we can very easily identify with people of lower caste, I suspect. But it's the other elements of the population, isn't it, that we've got to influence. What effect do you hope your thesis will have?
Yeah. Thank you very much for affirming in what I said. And also, actually, as I said, I have a very technical paper. If I have to read word to word, I'm sure it is too difficult for me to communicate. And thanks to Steve, I sent him a first draft initially halfway, and he gave me some comments to improvise, and I did it again. This is going to be an academic, published in an academic journal too. So it reaches to an academic audience primarily, whereby it tries to say, as I said, knowledge can be constructed from an oppositional knowledge, which is an attempt which I have done, and it communicates. So by which the dominant knowledge groups would understand, yes, there are newer knowledge forms that are taking place, which needs a recognition. So in that pursuit, this is an attempt. Secondly, as I'm speaking to church groups, I myself read my Bible from my own, how I was spoken, I read it the same way. So I speak to my church audience. Every day when I read my Bible, I can only think and see the Bible these ways. So I try to communicate through my Bible studies, through my rereading of the text, trying to influence and impact the congregation where there are all kinds of people, not just the Dalits. So it addresses communities of all kinds. Having said that, I also believe that good news to the poor is bad news to the rich. By which means, it is a challenge for us as a church in 21st century. We are so comfortable preaching good news to the poor. But I think the challenge now is to tell that good news to the poor means bad news to the rich. And if we can be prophetic that way, I'm sure our deliberations and our being disciples of Jesus Christ has some meaning, purpose in this country.
May I just ask them, what do you mean by bad news for the rich?
Good news
may not be good news for the poor and good news for the rich.
I mean, gospel is good news for everyone.
Yeah.
But having said that, good news to the poor means it is prophetic. It calls for a repentance from the rich. It repentance from the greedy. It calls repentance from the dominant. So the good news from God's perspective is good news for all. But for the poor, it is really good news because it begins from the margins. But from the rich, it is that they need to give up. It calls for them, it pinches. So gospel has that prophetic pinch which is communicated. So by which I mean good news is good news for all, but good news to the poor is still quotes bad news to the rich. I hope I am trying to
I think that was the last question. You got, I'm sorry. Last question.
Thank you, Raj. Like I'm sure almost all of us, if not all of us, have absolutely found this to be a wonderful hour that we spent with you. We really mean that. You've opened our eyes to lots of things. I think John Chrysostom, an early church father, once said that when the church started to set up these hostels for homeless people in the 4th century, that the idea the bishops had then was preventing Christians from being Christians, from holding hospitality, the most central part of their home. In other words, getting other people to do it for them. And we see the echoes of that today. So my question, I think it's absolutely right, the hospitality of love is what you say. I don't know how long that you've lived here in Manchester or the UK. Your English is better than mine. But I would also like to say to you that I'd be interested to hear your own perceptions on how you think the Christ, where the margins are for people, and where is our choice and how that might be lived out from your perspective for the UK, please.
Thank you. I mean, this is my 3rd year in UK, and as I said, I have primarily come to do my PhD, and I am on my job here. But along with that, having been in a context very different from me, I had to analyze this context, read this context, understand it, and I'm in the process of understanding. As I said, some of the cultural shocks, I did not think that there is poverty in this country when I was in India. I knew it was global phenomenon. But poverty, relative, as I said, it is relative in its definitions. I see exists in UK in several forms. I need not name where are the poor. We ourselves can see there are poor in terms of the cuts that are happening, in terms of the benefits that are being taken off, in terms of being pushed out of the houses, in terms of the tenancy agreements. I mean, you have ample examples to tell that poverty does exist. And I think the challenge for the church is to pitch a tent among contexts of poverty. Homelessness, I need not tell you again. It's a dire reality of this 21st century in the UK context. I mean, we can gloss over to say all of us are fine, but shelter does make an important aspect which I think we need to speak. Ecological imbalances, I have seen recently, not recently, a year ago, a play called Baked Alaska. I'm not sure if you would have seen that play, which is about, it was done by Christian Aid on climate change. The examples they picked were from Papua New Guinea, from Bangladesh. It is so convenient to be in UK and to talk about Bangladesh and Papua New Guinea. As if ecological imbalances are not happening here in UK. That really saddened me. Because, and I think the challenge for us in this 21st century in UK is to introspect our own selves. Is there an ecological balance here in UK? How are we contributing to the ecological balance to the other world communities? And as such, I think the gospel should prick us. The gospel should allow us, like Moses, to remove our sandals and come to the burning bush. Only when we remove our sandals, we can feel the prick of the pebbles where we stand on the holy ground. And in the church, the calling is to remove our sandals. Stand barefooted along with the communities where there is some pricks coming in, and then we can encounter the burning bush.